G'day viewers, in this tutorial we're going to learn how to drive Thomas the Tank Engine with an Xbox controller. It's very similar with a PlayStation controller, just slightly different buttons. So first thing we need to do is uncouple. So we're just going to look down at the driving position and press the Y button to come away from it. And then we're going to move the cursor, and I used my right stick to do that, and use A to come over to the cab door. And we use Y to step down. So the game prompts you to do what you need to do. Now we need to uncouple Annie and Clarabelle. So we'll press A to do that. And we need to go ahead down there, but I can see there's a little bit of a problem. So let's just walk down the platform, because we need to change the points. So we'll just hop down here off the platform. Of course you'd look. So we'll put our cursor on the points and press A to flip them over. So now they're going the right way for us. So we can go back on the platform, because you want to stay on the platform as much as you can to be safe. And remember, railway people who are working here are allowed down on the tracks when it's safe. We'll come back here and we'll get back into Thomas. We'll just use our cursors to get in. And we'll close the door, because it's always a good idea. And we will press Y to stand in the engineer's position after we look at it. Now we're going to use the left stick for whistle, and we're going to use the right stick to accelerate forwards, because that's what we're going to do. I'll keep it up here so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, sorry, the right trigger. So we want to get down near that blue marker down there, and we can press the right stick to get to our external camera. And it's time to start slowing down, so I'm using the left trigger. We want to get right on top of that blue marker. There we go, that should be close enough, and it is. So now we're going to go via the water tower. So this time we're going to go backwards, and we're stopped, so I'm going to use the left trigger to make us go backwards. But remember those points? Yes. So let's pop back inside Thomas, and let's step away from the driving position with Y. We'll open up our door. We're going to hop out this time on the track side, and step down with Y. And we'll walk up here and do this. Now you can also do this with the camera. You don't actually have to walk around, but it's kind of fun to walk around to the points. So there we go. Put the cursor on it. Press A to change it. You notice the one up there changed by itself, so we don't have to do that one. And we'll come back up here and get back into the cab. Now you can also change them using the map if you want to, but I just prefer to do it by walking around because it's fun. And Y to go back into the driving position when we're looking at it. We'll just move a bit until it appears. There we go. Sometimes you need to jiggle around a little bit. So let's press the right stick to go to the outside camera again and turn ourselves around to watch. And then we'll use the left trigger to go backwards. And we'll go up to about 10 miles an hour or so. Now you want to keep the silver arrow on the speedometer on the right hand side near to that red exclamation mark, because it tells you how far to go. Now you notice that our instructions changed. Instead of going via the water tower, we're now going up to the level crossing all the way up at the end. Now when we get up here, I'm going to stop because I want to show you something. Because I want to show you how to interpret these little dwarf signals up here. Now because we're going backwards, we'll use the right trigger to slow down. And we'll just bring us down to a stop here. This will do fine. Now I'm using the left trigger to push me along in the external camera. And you can see the bottom one, it's on an angle like this. That means proceed. If it's flat like the top one, it means stop. The top one is for the right-hand track, the one over there. The one on an angle is for the left-hand track, the one over there. So we can pop back to the cab now, because we're allowed to go. And you can also see, I'm stuck on Thomas, aren't I? Yep, I'm stuck on Thomas. There we go. You can also see that the points are already set for us. So we want to go backwards, so it's the left trigger. Off we go. We should peep the whistle, of course, so people know we're going to move. And back up to about 10 miles an hour again. A little bit over is all right, don't worry about it too much. So as we cruise along here, we can see a white flashing light, and that tells us that the level crossing up there is working and it's safe for us to go through. You can also see a sign there on the right with an X and a 10. Because it's a 10, it wants us to go at 10 mile an hour or less. So we should slow down a little bit. One stop with the right trigger, there we go. And we need to blow the whistle, that's what the X means. So we'll keep going until we get close to this blue marker. And the cars have to wait for us, so it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you go through here. Another peep if you want to. Now you'll notice when you're going slowly, Thomas starts slowing down by himself. I think he's just worried that you're not watching. So you might need to tap the trigger every now and again just to keep speeding up or slowing down or doing whatever speed you want to do. But this will be fine because guess what? He's going to stop right near the marker just for us. So we'll use a couple of taps on the right trigger now to bring him to a stop. And now we have to wait for a little while because in front of us you can see a different kind of signal. We come around this side and you can see that it's red. Now that means we can't go anywhere. Now the other thing I can see is that the turntable is moving, and I can tell that because that stop hand is moving around. So the signalman's putting the turntable in the right place, and then the signalman will set all of the points for us all the way down the yard, so we don't have to worry about it. We just drive straight down to the turntable. Now this takes a little while, so you have to be patient. Remember, you can't run through red signals, you have to wait. Now if you want to remind the signal when we're here, you can whistle. Now we can hear the crossings going, so we're just about to go. We'll see the boom gates go down, there they go. And now our signal's changed. We've got a flashing white light which tells us the crossing's working, but we've also got two little white lights on the signal itself on an angle like the dwarf, and that's telling us that it's okay to proceed, but it's also telling us that we're going down to the turntable. So we're going forwards this time, so we use the right trigger to speed up, and again we want to do about 10 miles an hour or so. So we'll just cruise down the yard now. You see the signalman has set these points for us, so we'll just go straight through. And remember, Thomas does start slowing down by himself, so every now and again you just need to press the trigger again to make it speed up. Actually, I want to press the other one because I'm telling him to slow down. So I press the right hand button. There we go. We're speeding up again now. Very good. Now when we get to the turntable, you want to creep up to the marker because you don't want to go over the turntable. Just using my left stick to move the camera there. Now you can drive Thomas from inside or from outside. So right stick takes you inside and right stick takes you outside. I prefer outside because it's easier to see. Now we're going forward, so we'll be using the left trigger to slow down in a moment. So we'll start slowing down a little bit before the turntable. But not too much. So we'll just creep onto the turntable. And once we're here, we have to get out of the cab. This is a pretty easy turntable to use. So we need to go far enough forwards that we satisfy the instruction that we want. So let's just try and stop there and see if that's enough, because it probably is. Yep, and that worked. You can see our instruction changed. And it says stop at the level crossing, but there's something we have to do first. So let's press the right stick to go back inside. And then we'll use Y to get out of there. Open up the cab door. And we're going to step down onto the little deck here with the desk. Now we need to turn our turntable on first, so we've got this switch. We're going to unlock it. There we go. And now we're going to put our cursor onto the handle, and we're going to move it just to the right. And once the turntable gets moving, we can let go. And you'll notice we'll just keep going all the way around. We can come over here now and we can watch. Uh-oh, Thomas is rolling. What's going on here? Better get up in there and get into the driving position before we roll off the turntable. And just stop him again. That was a bit naughty, Thomas. What were you doing that for? Our door's closed itself, so that's fine. And we'll go back onto the outside camera now. Thomas is still moving. Naughty Thomas. Let's stop you there. So what I used was the left there because we were facing forwards to stop us. All right, so we're good to go off the turntable now. So left stick to blow the whistle. And we can move forward. So let's take him back up to about 10 miles an hour. We'll be fine. And our instruction is to go out to the level crossing again. But we need to make sure that we're watching the signals. So I can see on the top right-hand corner in my track monitor, I can see a yellow signal coming up, which will be this little dwarf we can see in front of us. This little white dot you can see. So as we get closer, we'll have a look at that. We don't have to stop at it, though. So we'll just keep an eye on it. And I can see that it's like this. So we can go straight through that one. On our way back to the level crossing again. Now I think I probably didn't stop Thomas properly back on the turntable back there. That's why he started to roll. But even so, it's very naughty. So this little sign on the right-hand side of the track up here with the X and the 10. X means to blow your whistle and 10 means to do 10 miles an hour. It's already doing 9, so that's fine. So you can do 10 or under. And the white flashing light, remember, that tells us that the crossing is working and it's safe to go through. Alright, we're nearly there. So we'll be using the left-hand trigger to slow down because we're going forwards. So we can do that now. Just bring our speed down to 0. Just need to get near the marker. It's important that you don't go past it. Alright, so now we're going to couple up to Annie and Clarabelle and we're going to go back into the platform. So we've got to wait for the signalman though, because we've got a red light, so we can't go anywhere just yet. There we go, the boom gates have come down. We've got a white flashing light that tells us the crossing's working and a yellow signal that tells us to go ahead. Actually, we don't have a yellow signal just yet. We're still waiting. We've got a red signal at the moment. We should get a yellow signal soon. The signalman's probably still changing points and things. Sometimes with Train Sim World you might need to move towards the signal just to encourage it. So we'll try that and we'll stop again. There we go. It is now yellow. So the light didn't change on the signal, it was showing yellow all along, but what was tricking me was the track monitor in the top right hand corner was showing a red. So we'll just keep moving along towards Annie and Clarabelle, then we'll go and couple up. When we get close to Annie and Clarabelle, we need to slow down so we don't bump into them too hard. And we're getting a little bit closer to Annie and Clarabelle now. We're a little bit over 100 yards away. When we get about 50 yards away, we'll slow down a lot. There we go, there's 50. So we'll start slowing down with the right trigger because we're going backwards. So press the right trigger and we are slowing down. Now we're going to stop a bit early, which is fine. Whistle. And a press of the left trigger. And then the right. There we go. We have stopped and coupled up. Just stop us. There we go. And we're all good. We're all coupled up. And that's all we have to do. And that's the end of this one. There you go. So now you know how to drive Thomas forwards and backwards. You know a little bit about signals. You know a little bit about shunting. And you know how to use a turntable. All right, that's it for this tutorial. If you've got any questions, put them down below and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Bye now.
We played a game.